Hello everyone. You're on the channel Who Created It and How. Today we're diving into a topic that literally sparked civilization as we know it, the discovery of fire. It's something we use every day without a second thought, from cooking our food to warming our homes. But have you ever stopped to wonder how our earliest ancestors first tamed this powerful force of nature? It wasn't a single aha moment, but a long, fascinating journey of observation, courage, and ingenuity that stretched over hundreds of thousands of years. So, gather around the virtual campfire and let's travel back in time to uncover the story of how humanity first harnessed the flame. Before humans learned to make fire, they were at the mercy of the natural world. Night was a time of immense danger, filled with predators lurking in the darkness. Food was eaten raw, making it tough to chew and digest, and limiting the nutrients our ancestors could absorb. They were also restricted by climate, unable to survive in colder regions. Life was a constant struggle for survival against the elements. The only fire they knew was the terrifying, destructive kind, wildfires sparked by lightning or volcanic eruptions. To them, fire wasn't a tool. It was a deadly force of nature to be feared and avoided at all costs. Imagine seeing a forest ablaze. The heat, the smoke, the sheer power. It must have been both awe-inspiring and horrifying. So how did this fear turn into curiosity and eventually control? The first step was likely opportunistic. Picture this: a lightning strike ignites a tree. Instead of just fleeing, a brave or perhaps just very cold and hungry early human, maybe a Homo erectus, over 1 million years ago, cautiously approaches the smoldering remains. They feel its warmth. They see how it keeps predators at bay. This was the first crucial connection. Fire can be beneficial. They might have grabbed a burning branch and carefully carried it back to their camp. This was a monumental leap. They didn't create fire, but they learned to capture it, to become fire keepers. Keeping this precious flame alive would have become a vital, round-the-clock community task. If the fire went out, they'd have to wait for nature to provide another. This fire-keeping phase probably lasted for an incredibly long time. Generations would have passed, with the knowledge of tending a flame being one of the most critical skills a person could have. They would have learned what fuels the fire, dry wood, leaves, grass, and what smothers it. They would have observed how the smoke drives away insects and how the light extends their day, allowing for more social interaction and tool making after sunset. This simple act of maintaining a captured flame fundamentally changed their social structure, safety, and daily routines. It was the beginning of humanity's long and intimate relationship with fire. The campfire became the heart of the community, a center for safety, warmth, and storytelling. The next giant leap was figuring out how to make fire on demand. This is where human ingenuity really shines. No longer would they have to depend on the luck of a lightning strike. Evidence suggests this breakthrough happened much later, perhaps around 400,000 years ago, though it became more common with Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens. So how did they do it? There were likely two main methods that developed independently in different parts of the world. The first, and perhaps the most iconic, is the friction method. You've probably seen it in movies, rapidly rubbing two pieces of wood together. This could be done with a fire plow, where a stick is rubbed back and forth in a groove, or a hand drill, where a spindle is spun rapidly on a fireboard. The immense friction generates heat, creating fine, hot wood dust or char. This char doesn't burst into flames immediately. It smolders, creating a tiny, glowing ember. This precious ember then had to be transferred to a tinder bundle, a small ball of fluffy, dry material like shredded bark, moss, or grass. By gently blowing on the tinder, the ember would be fanned into a flame. It sounds straightforward, but it's an incredibly difficult skill to master. It requires the right kind of wood, perfect technique, and a whole lot of patience and physical effort. Anyone who's tried to make a fire with a bow drill kit knows just how challenging it is. Imagine discovering that for the very first time. The second major method of fire making was percussion. This involves striking two specific types of stones together to create a spark. But not just any rocks will do. You need a piece of flint, which is a hard silicate rock, and a piece of pyrite, an iron sulfide mineral. When you strike the flint against the pyrite with a sharp, glancing blow, tiny particles of iron are shaved off. The friction and force of the strike heat these particles to incandescence, creating hot sparks. Just like with the friction method, these sparks had to be caught in a tinder bundle and carefully nurtured into a flame. This technique was a game changer, offering a more portable and reliable way to start a fire compared to the cumbersome friction methods. You could carry your fire starting kit with you wherever you went. The ability to create fire at will was perhaps the single most important technological advancement in human history. It had a profound impact on every aspect of life. First, diet. Cooking food does more than just make it taste better. It breaks down tough fibers and kills harmful bacteria, making food safer and easier to digest. This process, known as predigestion, meant our bodies could extract more calories and nutrients from the same amount of food. Some anthropologists argue that this dietary revolution, particularly the consumption of cooked meat and starches, provided the extra energy needed to fuel the development of our large, complex brains. In a very real sense, fire helped make us smarter. Beyond nutrition, fire provided unparalleled safety and security. A controlled campfire created a protective circle of light and heat, effectively keeping large nocturnal predators at bay. For the first time, our ancestors could sleep more soundly through the night, safe from the things that hunted in the dark. This reduced stress and increased survival rates. Fire also allowed humans to expand into new territories. With a portable source of warmth, they were no longer confined to temperate climates. They could survive cold nights and harsh winters, enabling the migration of humans out of Africa and across the globe, from the icy landscapes of Europe to the far reaches of Asia. Fire was the key that unlocked the planet for humanity. But the impact didn't stop there. Fire transformed our social lives and culture. The campfire became the first living room. Around its light and warmth, people gathered. It extended the usable hours of the day, providing time for activities after sunset. This was time for crafting more sophisticated tools, for repairing hunting gear, and most importantly, for social bonding. It was around the fire that language may have flourished, as people shared stories, planned hunts, and passed down knowledge from one generation to the next. The hearth became the symbolic center of the home, a place of community, culture, and learning. It's a tradition that continues to this day when we gather around a campfire or a fireplace to share stories and connect with one another. From a mysterious force of nature to a captured flame, and finally to a tool created at will, the journey of discovering fire was a long and arduous one. It wasn't the work of a single inventor, but the accumulated knowledge and bravery of countless generations of our ancestors. It empowered us, nourished us, protected us, and brought us together. Every time you flick a lighter or turn on a stove, you are participating in a legacy that is hundreds of thousands of years old. This mastery of fire was the first major step in humanity's journey to shape the world to its needs, paving the way for all subsequent technologies, from metalworking to the steam engine and beyond. It truly is the discovery that changed everything. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey back in time. What do you think was the most important impact of fire on human evolution? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the origins of the world around us, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Who Created It and How. We have plenty more stories to share. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.